Hello and welcome to the Flourishing Introvert Talks with me, Jo Rawbone. This is the podcast that celebrates the natural gifts of introverts so that we can flourish in all situations. Episode 295, Creating Value Without Chasing Attention. It still galls me to say this, but I can't hide from the truth, and I will not hide it from you either. Society worships visibility as proof of worth. Shallow, isn't it? Yet I see it everywhere. Not having the impact you want? Get more visible. Not attracting the right opportunities? Put yourself out there more. Not taken seriously? Attend more meetings with the right people. Visibility rules the roost, which is bad news for many of we introverts. Not because visibility isn't important, of course it is. But for we introverts, there's a specific process I've recognised, and it's embedded in my introvert emerging model. Because the constant chase of attention through likes, views and invitations is not only unnatural, it's also utterly exhausting. I've been in and around corporate settings for long enough to know that noise is all too often mistaken for competence, and the mistake only surfaces when the blunders become unacceptable. This is coupled with value being measured in self-promotion, like some kind of pointless gamification. Talk yourself up, gold star, you must be good. And we know what happens to we quieter ones who find empty promises nauseating. Not only do we not get the gold star, we get judged as being boring, lacking ambition, the loyal follower but not leadership material. Heck, I don't need to spell it out to you. You're living with it on a daily basis too. Part of the problem is that we can fall into the trap of being too modest, which means that far from lacking brilliance, our brilliance is just not broadcast in a way that makes us findable. Of course, the irony is that the world desperately needs the considered, holistic approach that many of us favour. As Brian Cox recently said, we are the only species advanced enough to destroy ourself for fun. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that effing terrifying. Where are the deep thinkers who are looking for the long-term gains and indeed our survival rather than short-term profitability and greed? Introverts are no different to other humans in that all the things we create twice. Once in our minds and once when we bring it to life. Stephen Covey reminds us of this when he talks about beginning with the end in mind. And I suspect we introverts have created more in our minds, both useful and pointless, than we have generally brought into existence. When we create, we home in on substance over spectacle, focusing on things that have impact and longevity. The process that I discovered and incorporate into my work is that introverts, well, all of those I've worked with anyway, need to establish their credibility before becoming visible. This is not a weakness or a flaw in our makeup or something to be fixed. It's a path we need to honour in order to be the best version of ourselves when we do step out from the shadows. A great analogy here, and very timely given the season we are currently in, is that we don't see the full extent of a tree's roots. They're largely invisible underground, yet they are vital. Without sound roots that provide nourishment and hold the tree firm, the showy blossom or life-giving fruit is unlikely to flourish. So here's an affirmation for you to use. Introverts build from the roots up, not from the showy glitter down. I find this really reassuring because chasing the attention or focusing on the showy bits pulls our attention outwards, scattering and weakening it. Creation, on the other hand, pulls our energy inwards, so it grounds and nourishes us. One drains, the other nourishes, and the choice is yours. So here are a few things that will help you to develop your creative process so that more of what you're creating moves from your imagination out into the world where it is needed. Number 1, choose one creative outlet that aligns with your natural pace, your purpose, and your curiosity. For me, writing is a particularly powerful outlet from which I can become more visible as I speak the words that I've thought through. Number 2, schedule visibility after sufficient credibility building, not the other way round. And of course, you need to believe you are credible before others will buy into it, as there's a particular congruence that needs to be felt. And number 3, let your work invite attention rather than chase it. This is the whole piece about becoming findable. Become known for something that aligns with your values and the longer-term impact you want to have in the world. These 3 simple yet effective pointers will set you on the right path so you're bringing more of you into the world without feeling fake. Remember, visibility without authentic purpose is vanity, but creation with intent, that's impact. What we need to avoid is spotlight fatigue that overwhelms us pretty quickly when we succumb to the extrovert way of doing things. That's not for us, and we need to be okay with that. Actually, we need to be more than okay. We need to know why it's not for us and stay aligned with our own strategies. And the truth is, the most magnetic people, the most compelling speakers, the most visionary leaders are rarely the loudest. The people who fit this bill are the ones whose work continues even when they are not in the room and also when they're not shouting about it. So please don't be seduced or persuaded by the visibility vultures who circle their prey looking for any opportunity to swoop in and claim the glory. They are the opportunists who only act when there is something to gain, but rarely do the hard work of creation. While the visibility vultures are circling the latest trend to see what's in it for them, we are quietly creating something meaningful that lasts. Let them fight over the scraps for attention. I'm over here putting down roots and building the strong foundations of flourishing. And if you want to know how to do that more effectively, take a look at the Frustrated to Flourishing program. It's for introverts ready to redesign their professional presence without betraying their nature. I'll pop the link in the description of this episode. And I'll leave you with this thought. What if the real stage for introverts isn't the spotlight, but the space where ideas are born? If you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, then please subscribe, rate us and leave a comment, because we know that helps other people find the podcast. And if other people find us, other introverts can flourish.
You are listening to an Intentional Media Production podcast.